Hey y'all, it's Tiffy. Welcome back to my tribe and my journey. So today I am going to be giving you all a quick update on my emergency fund progress. So in my last video that I posted last month about my debt journey and goals for 2019, I mentioned that I was trying to raise my emergency fund to $2,000. And then after that, I wanted to work towards paying off one of my credit cards by the end of 2019. So in my first video that I posted, I had a balance in my emergency fund at $1,700. So since that video, I have added an additional $150 to my emergency fund, bringing my balance up to $1,850. My goal is to get to the $2,000 by the end of February. And so I expect to be able to add the remaining $150 over the next week or so. I'll bring you another update once I get there. Okay, so now I will give you all a little background on the emergency fund. As I mentioned in my previous video, an emergency fund by definition is a fund or a little stash of money that you put aside. And Dave Ramsey recommends $500 if you make less than $25,000 a year, or if you make more than $25,000 a year, he recommends $1,000. And so last year, in January of 2018, I put away my first $1,000 in my emergency fund, and I didn't have any significant emergencies big enough for me to deplete that fund. And so I did dip into it a couple of times, but they were very small amounts, in most cases less than $100. And I was able to put all that money back by the end of the year in 2018. So I took that first $1,000 and I rolled it over into 2019, and I decided that I would feel more comfortable having a $2,000 emergency fund. And so in January, I put an additional $700 into my emergency fund, and then just about a week ago, I added another $150. And again, it's my goal by the end of February to have a total of $2,000 in my emergency fund. Now, this particular point is a deviation from Dave Ramsey's plan. And so if you are following his plan strictly, as soon as you get your $1,000 or $500, you can move on to the next step. So just a quick another definition of what an emergency fund would cover and where you should put it. He recommends that you put it somewhere out of sight, out of mind, but somewhere that is super liquid. So he does not recommend that you put it into investment accounts. The goal is not to make interest off of it. It is literally there to help you with the peace of mind and to help you have easy access to your own cash in the event that you do have an emergency. And an emergency is something that could not have been planned, or that you did not know was coming ahead of time, which can be like your toe falling off, you're bleeding profusely, something that's permanently attached to your house falls off, something explodes, someone hits you with a car. It's like all these events that happen to you that clearly were not planned, and that people literally, in some cases, insure themselves, get insurance to hedge against. They happen to you. And so having that initial $1,000 or $500 just helps bring peace of mind when you're trying to pay off your debt, to help prevent you from going into further debt when these unexpected events happen. He said in most cases, a lot of emergencies that people face tend to be less than $1,000. And so by having that $1,000, again, just once again, easily accessible, but not necessarily in your view, immediate view, daily or peripherals, just gives you an additional peace of mind and helps prevent you from going back into debt when you're trying to get out of debt. So hopefully this was informative, and please take a moment to comment down below if you already have your emergency fund, or where you like to keep your emergency fund, and if you're following Dave Ramsey or maybe some other financial guru, because there's a bunch of different financial gurus I like to follow. And so I'd be interested to see if any of you all kind of watch the same ones that I do.